we've got them pumped up and connected with us, okay? And hopefully when they come back out of the crate, they're going to be excited again too. We're going to go back to talking about your platform or your pivot work. And I just wanted to walk you through, one, show you what the finished product should look like, or the finished behavior for the purposes of our training. It's going to look like and where we're going with it. And then we'll walk you through the steps that we're going to take to shape the behavior. So Spark's going to demonstrate. So for Spark's pivot, we're just using an upside down food bowl, okay? This is a good size for her. It's about 4 inches high, which is a good height for her. If she was much larger, I might want a little bit higher platform, depending on the dog. And it's about shoulder width for her, so it's challenging for her to keep her paws up on it, but not impossible. Good girl. Okay. So the first thing that we do is we get her paws up on there. And then what I want is for her to be able to pivot while keeping her front paws on it. That is so clever. And ideally, she's crossing over behind. And this is how we get those really fancy left turns, those really fancy finishes. This is also, can you get some more pivoting? Oh, beautiful. How about a little more? Wonderful. Very nice. This is also the beginning. We go the other way. Whoa. We're only going one way today? There we go. Okay. To get her in front, I can teach her to use her hind end and line up. Very nice work. Very nice. Good job. Okay. Or we can do our left turns or our finishes. Get in. Get in. So cool. Yeah. So clever too. And then the next step, once we get these behaviors on the raised platform, is then I'm going to go to just a plain target. And I can get the same behaviors on the flatter target, and then it's really easy just to fade it. Sparks, get in. To no target at all. Okay, so we're getting the mechanical skill of being able to use her hind legs to pivot on her front legs. So when we make a left turn as handlers, we actually take a longer track than the dog. So to do those really pretty left turns, their front legs actually are going to stay right behind our leg to stay in heel position. They actually have to slow down, and if you have a big dog, they may even have to back up slightly to stay in heel position. And then we want them to swing their hips to the right, so that their spine stays in the same direction as our direction of motion. Okay. So the steps for how we train it.
And it looks like you're not using any cue except get in when you want the dog to get in.
Right. So at this level, you can use a working cue if you want to. It's not super important because this is a building block for where we're going to go with that. So her cue for putting her PAWS's up on a platform is paws up. Very good. So I just train that as just a general, it's a useful behavior for around the house. Paws up. Enough. Very nice. Excellent. And then, and you can get this behavior by shaping. If your dog has a paw targeting behavior, most of these guys are going to pick up on that one pretty quickly. Very good. And then I'm going to put myself directly in front of the dog. But I don't want to stand in front yet, because this is a formal pose and this is a cue, right? So I'm going to on purpose stand with my feet slightly apart. I'm going to have my hands kind of askew. I'm going to go out of my way not to stand soldier style, right? I want to feed, because this is something that I'm going to put into heel position. My rules for food delivery for heeling still apply. I want to feed the dog's head up slightly. So I'm going to feed her up here. I don't want to have the food lure visible to her though, because obviously this is not the behavior that I'm trying to get. It's impressive. But it's not the behavior that I want. So I'm going to have my food ready, but I'm going to keep my fingers closed. Yes. And then all I have to do is turn my hand over to deliver the food. Yes. So if I'm shaping this from scratch, I'm going to have my clicker in my right hand, my treat in my left hand. I'm going to have the treat with my fingers closed, And you can hold it over your dog's head if your dog is very tall. You don't have to hold it right over the head, but you still want to be ready to deliver it right here. So for me, it's easier for me to have my food ready, and then when she does what I want, I click and I deliver the food. Okay, so we get the paws up, Miss Sparks. Ready? Paws up. Good. Now I'm in front of the, slow down, pretend you don't know. I'm in front of the dog. I have my hand closed so the lure is not visible to the dog. And I'm going to move. And when she steps with that hind leg, I'm going to click. And I'm specifically watching, in this direction, I'm watching her inside hind leg. That's the one I can see most easily. And if she offers a little bit more, that's great. And my goal is for her to actually go past my body. So we're going to, I've really confused her. We're going to the left. I want her to come past my leg. Okay. So the longer your dog is, the more you're going to have to do one of these. But again, this is just a temporary step. Once we have them coming past our leg, then that's all we really need to do with that, and we go ahead and start doing something with it, putting it into a position. So if you have one arm slightly longer than the other, you might want to use that one for this exercise right now. The reason that it's important that I want the dog to go past my body is a lot of dogs, so the tendency you probably already noticed for dogs in heel position is to crab, so they're going to be too wide, especially with their hindquarters. A couple of reasons for that. One is just general body awareness, especially in large breed dogs. They don't know that they have a hind end, let alone that it should be doing something specific. And also a lot of dogs are sensitive to our space, and they try to be polite, some more than others, okay? And they're going to try and give us a little bit of space and camp out. So I want her to know, and Spark's a very sensitive dog, that actually coming in slightly past me is okay. Girl. And then once I have the whole behavior on cue, or not on cue yet, so I'm going to put it on cue. Once I have her doing pretty much a full circle, or at least past my leg, then I'm going to put that on cue. So we doing the same thing. I step right in, bam. As soon as she comes into my leg, I click and treat. Now I can put that on cue. Sparks. Get in. And my cue for the left side is get in. Obviously it can be anything that you want. If you've already got a get in, you can do something else. You can call it zucchini or strawberry, doesn't matter. And then for a right side, I call it side. Okay, any questions?
To get them to go around, you sort of move the treat where you want it.
I'm going to move my body initially, actually. So I'm going to stay in front of her, and I'm going to move, and she's going to try and stay facing me because I have food. And I'm just going to click anytime I see her hind legs coming up. So important things, I want to time my click while she's in motion, not after she's stopped. If I click stopping, that's the behavior that I'm training. And so what you'll get is a dog that gets stuck, they take a step and then pause. And we want them to learn to move very freely with their hind legs. And this is an awesome behavior for body awareness, for core strength, a lot of different applications for the pivot platform.
And tell them about people that too long click and move their body until it becomes a
Yeah. So in this, training with kind of this recipe, body motion and the presence of the food are prompts. They are the food is a lure. Your body motion is a prompt, and anytime we train with a prompt, we want to get rid of that prompt as quickly as possible. So we just want to kind of jumpstart the behavior by using our bodies, and as soon as you start getting some free motion with the dog, you're going to want to fade your body and click them for offering anything with their hind legs without moving your body. And then we get the food out of your hands, and then we put it on cue, and then you've got really fancy left turns, and everyone will be impressed.
Okay, now I didn't know about the turning in front of me part, and she has already started to move around to get in on both sides.
Okay.
But she doesn't know anything about going past me.
No time like the present to train it.
to
Yeah.
help me
Absolutely.
get
Yes.
her to.
Yep.
I'm
Yep.
sure she's gonna look at me like, oh, who's trying to
Yeah. So hopefully everybody's got their dogs at least comfortable with stepping up onto the platform. Beautiful. Most guys do, but every now and then you'll have a very polite dog that doesn't want to mess up your phone book. So I wanted to make sure they got comfortable with that idea at home before we start doing it under distraction. Great. Okay.
She came flying in from the dining room the